Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video on my channel, Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant topics, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipelines. Visit my website at hairliciously.com to purchase your microneedling device, which is scientifically proven to stimulate hair growth, my low-level laser therapy cap, DHT blocking shampoo, conditioner, and serum, hair growth vitamins, and a few other products to help those who are losing hair. Now, in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys yet another incredible hair loss reversal transformation regarding a guy who had posted his results on Trestlist. So the guy goes by username KChind. He's 25 years old, and he's been taking 0.5 milligram Finasteride daily, Minoxidil 2% foam version once a day at night, and Ketoconazole shampoo twice a week. Here's a photo of him back in November 2019 before treatment. We can see some extensive receding happening on both temples. It's nearly going all the way up to his mid-scalp area. Areas are just completely bald, as you guys can tell from the photo. And for somebody to be receding, this much, who at the time would have been like 23 years of age, I feel like this is aggressive hair loss, and chances are he'd probably be at a like a Norwoods 6, Norwoods 7 by the time he hit 30, had he not intervened with hair loss treatment. Now, as far as his current Norwoods scale, I'd probably place him at least a Norwood 3. I wouldn't go as far as a Norwood 4, just because I don't know if he has any miniaturization going on his crown. But I could be wrong, since it's hard to tell from the photo, and he really hasn't specified if he is losing hair or not on the crown. And to be honest, his hair just actually looks a lot worse than a Norwood 3 because his recession is just so deep into his temples. But technically, I would still consider him as Norwood 3, since there doesn't seem to be any crown recession, and he still is able to kind of maintain the island portion of his hair. So after nearly just 7 months of continuous and religious treatment, he was able to go from a Norwood 3 back to a Norwood 2, maybe even like a Norwood 1.5. And I have to really give this guy credit because he's gained just so much hair in just a short span of time. He had a huge area on both temples that needed to be covered, and with just the big 3 treatment, he was able to reverse hair miniaturization and also regrow back the majority of his hair, all without the help of a hair transplant. Most people would need a hair transplant to achieve the growth that he's seen. But this guy was simply, on the big 3, just Finasteride, Minoxidil, Nizoral shampoo. He wasn't even microneedling, which works incredibly well for some individuals who, paired up with Minoxidil and tretinoin. He wasn't using an anti-androgen or anything else other than the said treatment. And what's wild is the fact that, he wasn't actually even using the full hair loss treatment protocol. Instead of the recommended 1 milligram of Finasteride daily, he was actually taking half of that, 0.5. And, according to his post, this was after he was doing research, and he found that 1 and 0.5 milligrams have similar efficacy in terms of blocking DHT. And this is true. A lot of people, including myself, use a pill cutter to cut the 1 milligram in half and take 0.5 as opposed to taking the 1 milligram, because we do have studies that show that there isn't really much difference between the 2 doses. Increasing Finasteride doses quickly run into the problem of diminishing returns, which means that you need to increase Finasteride doses many times over for a marginal benefit to further increase in hair growth and DHT suppression, which can lead to side effects in certain individuals. There's very little difference in terms of biochemical effectiveness, and if you look at a study titled "The Effects of Finasteride on Scalp Skin and Serum Androgen Levels in Men with Androgen Alopecia," it actually compares different doses ranging from as little as 0.01, 0.05, 0.2, 1 milligram, and 5 milligram. And the study did show that even doses as low as 0.05 and 0.2 lowered scalp skin DHT levels by 61.6% and 56.5% respectively, while 1 milligram lowered 64.1%. Serum DHT levels also declined significantly by nearly 50% for the 0.05 milligrams, 68.8% for 0.2, and 71.4% for the 1 milligram Finasteride tablet. So there really is negligible difference between the 0.2 and 1 milligram, and therefore some people just take 0.5 because it's known to be nearly as effective as taking 1 milligram Finasteride. Fortunately, the guy has not experienced any adverse side effects from Finasteride. There are people who have reduced side effects by reducing their dosage. So if you fall into the small percentage of people who unfortunately are experiencing adverse side effects, it might help if you guys actually lower the dosage. It also helps, save you guys money especially if you don't have insurance to pay for Finasteride. 0.5 milligram daily is going to last you twice as longer. Now moving on, this guy is also using the conventional minoxidil treatment. What's surprising is that he doesn't seem to be using the more efficacious 5% minoxidil, and instead he's sticking with the 2%, which is generally used for female patients. He states this in the post because he purchases his minoxidil through UK's Amazon. And I guess like he was reading the description and it said that it was for 2% and not for 5%. And I have no idea why he's sticking with the 2%, especially if he knows that 5% exists. And I'm sure that he knows that 5% works better. Actually nearly 45% better in terms of hair regrowth than the 2%. In addition, he's only using the foam version minoxidil instead of the liquid version once a day. And note that this is actually just once a day as opposed to the twice a day that is recommended. And there's actually been a lot of discussion on the topic of minoxidil frequency. A lot of people have, wondered if applying minoxidil twice a day has any benefit over applying it just once daily. And one hair loss channel that I follow, I don't know if you guys know of the Hair Loss Show, and I don't agree 100%, but the doctors on the show, they talk about the recommended frequency, and they did say that due to minoxidil's long half-life of around 20 to 22 hours, applying minoxidil once a day should be more than enough. And they also claim that there are no extra benefits from taking it twice a day. And one of the doctors, they actually mentioned in one of their videos that one of the doctors was apparently part of the original team who was involved when minoxidil was approved in the 1990s. And he also stated that there wasn't much benefit from taking it twice a day. Now, there is a study that I found that was published a while back in 1987, and it's titled Long-Term Follow-Up of Men with Male Pattern Baldness Treated with Topical Minoxidil. And in the study, there were a total of 41 men who were split into two different groups with either 2% or 3% minoxidil twice a day for 12 months, followed by another 12 months of twice daily application of 3% minoxidil. And then after 24 months, the subjects were once again randomized into two different groups, once daily versus twice daily application of topical minoxidil for an additional 9 months. And towards the end of the 2 years, 9 months treatment, the subjects who ended the study with just once daily minoxidil application saw a mean change from baseline non-vellus hair count at 1 year of 291.2 hairs, and at 2 years, 9 months of 235 hairs. Notice that this is a decline in hair count. The subjects who ended the study with twice daily minoxidil application saw a mean change from baseline non-vellus hair count at 1 year of 323 hairs and 335 hairs at 2 years, 9 months with maintenance topical minoxidil. Despite the small study group, applying minoxidil once a day in the long run resulted in a mean hair loss of 56 hairs between 1 year and 2 years, 9 months, while those who applied minoxidil twice a day past the 24 months were able to maintain and even slightly continue with regrowth. As far as a long-term standpoint, I personally think that applying it twice a day is generally more beneficial as it is seen in the study, but this also seems to kind of depend on each individual and how well he or she responds to minoxidil. A fast gainer usually has a low threshold dose for minoxidil to be effective, while a slow gainer might have a higher threshold dose, and this is why a lot of the slow gainers can see better results on twice a day application of minoxidil compared to just once a day. And this is also why some fast gainers can still get really good results regardless of just once or twice a day. I know some people complain about having to apply minoxidil twice a day, but literally it only takes a few minutes to put on and dry. So I still recommend that you guys try to apply minoxidil twice a day, because the study does back up the fact that it actually helps you maintain your hair better. And lastly, this guy has been using Ketoconazole shampoo twice a week. Study shows that Ketoconazole is a mild anti-androgen, but it's mainly used for people who have a lot of dandruff, flaky hairs, or for people who want to kind of treat, fungal type of infections or conditions on their scalp. I'm not a huge fan when it comes to ketoconazole because it really won't do much in terms of treating hair loss. The main arsenal that this guy was using that brought back his hair back to life was from Finasteride and Minoxidil. And overall, you know, I'm just very surprised to see just how much growth he was actually able to obtain, especially from treatment in such a short period of time, and more so from using 2% as opposed to using 5% Minoxidil and 0.5% Finasteride as opposed to 1 milligram Finasteride. He said that he did try microneedling for the first 2 months or so, but he dropped it from his regimen because, according to him, it was unpleasant. And even without, you know, microneedling, he was able to maintain some pretty incredible hair growth. And I feel like had he stuck with microneedling on a weekly basis, maybe step up the 2% and go to 5% Minoxidil twice a day, there is a chance that he would have seen better results. But, you know, the after photo speaks for itself. With just minimal treatment on the big three, he was what we can consider to be a hyper responder to treatment, and he serves as living proof that even basic FDA approved hair loss treatments can still help reverse hair loss. A lot of people I know can be skeptical when they see before and after results like this, something, you know, as drastic as this, and say that he's had a hair transplant. But there's really no reason for him to be promoting hair loss medications like Finasteride and Minoxidil. It's not like Merck is paying him money for promoting the use of Finasteride. There's already plenty of generic brands for both Finasteride and Minoxidil. So I'm pretty sure that this guy just wanted to share his incredible results with you guys and to give you guys hope for guys who are losing hair, and that there are treatments that may work well for certain individuals. Not everybody is obviously going to respond like this guy did, but these are treatments that are well known. They are they've been, you know, available for decades now, and they are known to work in the majority of men. So if you guys are willing to take medication to save your hair, it's better to start sooner than later. Overall, I'm very happy for this guy. Incredible results. He was able to reverse hair loss without having to intervene with a hair transplant, and by sticking with what we can kind of call a more conservative side of the big three treatment. Hopefully he's able to maintain his treatment long term without having to resort to a hair transplant. But that's all I have for today, guys. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys actually want to read more about this guy's journey and also some of the comments on his Trust List page, I'm going to post the link in the description box below, so make sure to check that out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.